There is a strange kind of person in almost every family, friendship, and workplace. When something goes wrong, everyone looks at them. When someone has a breakdown, they know exactly what to say. When plans fall apart, they know what to do. People call them strong. But there is a strange loneliness that comes with being the person everyone depends on. Because the stronger people think you are, the less they imagine that you might be struggling too. You're reliable. You're the one who always has it together. At first, these sound like compliments. But psychology reveals something completely different. The moment people decide that you're the strong one, they quietly stop looking for signs that you might be hurting too. They stop asking if you need help. They stop imagining that you could be overwhelmed. And slowly, without anyone meaning to, you become an emergency exit. Everyone runs towards you when life catches fire. But almost nobody thinks about you when everything is calm. Maybe this feels familiar. You're the friend everyone calls during a crisis. The person who remembers everyone's problems. The one who talks people through heartbreaks, family issues, and moments of panic. You're everyone's safe place. Yet when your own life becomes heavy, something strange happens. You look around and realize, you don't know who to call. You've spent years becoming everyone's support system, but somewhere along the way, nobody became yours. And that is the hidden cost of being the person everyone depends on. Because the thing exhausting you isn't responsibility itself. It's carrying responsibility for everyone while quietly neglecting yourself. Today, we're going to uncover why some people automatically become the dependable one in every room they enter, why they feel guilty putting themselves first, and most importantly, how to stop carrying the weight of the world without losing the part of themselves that genuinely cares. To understand why you keep becoming the person everyone leans on, we first need to understand how this role was created. Psychology shows that people who become everyone's support system usually fall into two very different groups. The first group is what we might call the natural stabilizers. Some people are naturally drawn toward order. When everyone becomes emotional, they become calm. When problems appear, they start looking for solutions. When conflict happens, they instinctively try to restore balance. As children, teachers relied on them. As teenagers, friends trusted them. As adults, everyone depends on them. At first, it feels good. It feels meaningful to be needed. But over time, the brain quietly learns one dangerous equation. If I am useful, I matter. Slowly, helping people stops being something you do. It becomes who you are. You begin worrying that saying no might disappoint people. You feel uncomfortable resting while others need help. You start believing that your value comes from how much you can carry. And before you realize it, being dependable becomes your entire identity. The second group carries a deeper burden. Clinical psychology has a name for it. It's called parentification. This happens when children slowly take on emotional responsibilities that should belong to adults. Imagine a child trying to comfort a mother who cries every night. Imagine a little boy trying to prevent arguments between his parents. Imagine a child learning that the house feels safer when they stay calm and take care of everyone else. Without realizing it, that child becomes the listener, the peacemaker, the caretaker, and their brain learns something powerful. If I hold everything together, people suffer less. The child grows up. The environment changes, but the role remains. Now, they're adults, yet they still walk into every room scanning for problems. Who looks upset? Who needs help? Who is struggling? They carry burdens before anyone asks. They solve problems that aren't theirs. They feel guilty relaxing while someone else is stressed. Responsibility becomes an instinct. And after years of playing this role, something painful begins to happen. People stop seeing how much you carry. They only see how much you can handle. They assume you're fine. They assume you'll manage. They assume you don't need help, because you never seem to need help. And slowly, you begin living under one exhausting rule. I must always be okay, because everyone else depends on me. This is where the hidden weight begins. Because even the strongest people become tired. Even the person everyone depends on sometimes wishes they could put their bags down and simply be taken care of for a while.
When a person spends years solving problems, carrying responsibilities, and becoming the stable one in every room, something subtle begins to happen. At first, it feels like maturity. Then it feels like purpose. Then one day, it simply feels heavy. The difficult part is that this burden doesn't arrive all at once. It hides inside habits that look completely normal. In fact, if you live with these patterns every day, you may not even recognize them anymore. But psychology shows that people who become everyone's support system often go through a very specific set of experiences. Sign number 1. Becoming the emergency contact for everyone's life. Have you ever noticed something strange? Nobody calls you for days. Then suddenly, your phone lights up. Someone had an argument. Someone is crying. Someone doesn't know what decision to make. And somehow, they all come to you. It's almost like being a fire extinguisher hanging on a wall. Nobody pays attention to it, but the moment something catches fire, everyone runs toward it. You listen, you comfort, you reassure. Eventually, they feel better and go back to their lives. But you're still carrying their sadness. The fire is gone for them, but the smoke remains inside you. And the strange thing about always being the emergency contact is that people start associating you with strength rather than humanity. They remember you when they need support, but they forget to wonder whether you need support too. Sign number 2. Living with borrowed stress. Imagine walking through a city carrying an empty backpack. Then every person you meet places something inside it. One person gives you relationship problems. Another gives you work stress. Someone else gives you anxiety about the future. By the end of the day, the backpack is overflowing. The problem is, none of it belongs to you, yet you carry it anyway. People who become everyone's dependable person often absorb emotions like a sponge. A friend seems anxious. Now you feel anxious. Your sibling seems overwhelmed. Now you feel overwhelmed. Hours later, everyone else has moved on, but your mind is still carrying the emotional residue. You lose sleep over situations that have nothing to do with your own life. You replay conversations. You mentally solve problems that nobody asked you to solve. And slowly, you become exhausted by burdens that were never yours to carry. Sign number 3. The competence trap. Imagine an employee who works quickly and solves problems efficiently. At first, everyone praises them. Then, something interesting happens. More work appears. Because they can handle it. The same thing happens in life. You remember important details. So now, everyone expects you to remember everything. You solve problems. So now, everyone expects you to fix things. You're emotionally available. So everyone unloads their worries onto you. Without realizing it, your competence becomes your prison. Because the world often mistakes capability for unlimited capacity. Every time you prove you can carry weight, people hand you a little more, then a little more, then a little more, until one day you're carrying 10 things while everyone else is carrying 1. And because you keep functioning, nobody notices how tired you've become. Sign number 4. Becoming emotional oxygen for everyone around you. Think about an oxygen tank. People reach for it when they can't breathe. That is who you become. A friend feels hopeless. You encourage them. A family member is panicking. You calm them down. Someone walks into your presence carrying emotional chaos and leaves feeling lighter. You create safety. You create stability. You help people breathe again. But here's the problem. An oxygen tank that is never refilled eventually becomes empty. People leave conversations with you feeling understood, yet you often leave those same conversations feeling strangely drained. You need silence. You need isolation. You need time alone simply to recover, because holding other people's fears and frustrations requires energy. And if nobody is helping you refill your emotional oxygen, eventually your own emotional reserves begin running low. Sign number 5. Forgetting how to need people. This may be the heaviest sign of all. Imagine a hospital that spends every day treating patients. Now imagine the hospital becoming sick. Who treats the hospital? That is exactly what happens to people who become everyone's support system. After years of being the helper, you slowly lose the ability to become the helped. People ask how you are, and you automatically answer, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll handle it. It's nothing." Even when it is something. Even when you're overwhelmed. Asking for help starts feeling uncomfortable. You begin believing that you should be able to handle everything by yourself. So you keep carrying everything alone. You become everyone's safe place, while having nowhere safe to put your own pain. And eventually, something heartbreaking happens. You stop expecting support altogether. You become so accustomed to taking care of everyone else that being taken care of starts feeling unfamiliar. And if these signs feel painfully familiar, then I know something about your life. You're probably the person everyone trusts. The person who notices when others are struggling. The person who remembers details. The person who checks on everyone else. You've spent years becoming a place where other people can rest. But here's the cruel paradox. The more dependable you become, the less people remember that you have needs too. They see your strength. They see your reliability. But they rarely see the cost. And slowly, the person who seems the strongest to everyone else becomes the loneliest person in the room. Of the 5 signs we just unpacked, which one feels the most like your life? Maybe it's carrying other people's stress. Maybe it's becoming everyone's emergency contact. Maybe it's forgetting how to ask for help. Or maybe it's all of them. Because if there's one thing dependable people eventually discover, it's this. Being needed and being understood are not the same thing. You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. Because your loneliness doesn't come from having nobody around you. It comes from becoming everyone's support system while quietly losing permission to need support yourself. Think about your life. You know exactly when your friend needs encouragement. You know when your family member is pretending to be okay. You remember details that everyone else forgets. You've spent years becoming a safe place for other people. But one day, usually after carrying everyone for a very long time, a painful realization arrives. You look around and ask yourself, who knows me this way? Who notices when I'm exhausted? Who can hear the heaviness in my voice? Who remembers the things I never say? Sometimes, the answer is difficult to admit. Very few people. Because people have become so accustomed to your strength that they forget. Strength has a cost. They see the lighthouse. They don't see the storm it survives every night. This is the invisible loneliness of dependable people. You become excellent at understanding everyone else, while very few people ever learn how to understand you. So what is the way out? The answer isn't becoming cold. It isn't caring less. The world genuinely needs dependable people. The goal is simply to stop disappearing inside your caring. Skill 1. Separate caring from carrying. These 2 things sound identical. You're 5, they're not. Caring says, I hope things get better for you. Carrying says, your problem is now my responsibility. You can love people without taking ownership of their pain. You can support people without becoming responsible for their choices. The next time someone shares a struggle with you, remind yourself of something important. You are allowed to care without carrying. Skill 2. Allow people to hold their own weight. This can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if your identity has been built around helping. Your friend makes a poor decision. You warn them once, then you step back. Your coworker falls behind. You support them if necessary, but you don't automatically rescue them, because not every fire belongs to you. Sometimes people need consequences. Sometimes they need experience. Sometimes growth only happens when people carry their own responsibilities. Your job isn't to save everyone. Your job is simply to be present when your help is truly needed. Skill 3. Learn to receive. This may be the hardest skill of all, because people who spend their lives taking care of others often forget how to be taken care of. The next time someone asks, Hypothetes, how are you? Or, Fies, don't answer automatically. Instead of saying, I'm fine, you try saying, I'm actually pretty tired. Or, I've been carrying a lot lately. The sentence seems small, but psychologically, it's enormous. Because you're teaching your nervous system something it may have forgotten years ago. I am allowed to have needs too. I am allowed to receive support. I am allowed to stop being strong for a while. And slowly, something beautiful begins to happen. Your caring nature doesn't disappear. Your dependability doesn't disappear. But your relationship with it changes. You stop becoming an emotional sponge that absorbs every problem around you. You become more like a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't jump into the ocean every time a ship struggles. It simply stands where it is. It offers guidance. It offers light. But it doesn't drown with every passing storm. That is the transformation. Not caring less, carrying less. Because the hidden cost of being the person everyone depends on isn't exhaustion. It's forgetting that your life matters as much as the lives you keep trying to protect. So if you've spent your entire life becoming everyone's safe place, I understand your tiredness. I understand the strange loneliness of being called strong when what you really want is somewhere safe to rest. But remember this, there is nothing wrong with being dependable. There is nothing wrong with caring deeply. Just don't make the mistake of believing that your value comes only from what you can carry. You are more than your usefulness, more than your reliability, more than your ability to hold everyone together. You are also a human being, and perhaps the greatest act of strength is finally allowing yourself to become one of the people you take care of, because the strongest people in the room are not the ones who never need support. They are the ones who finally allow themselves to receive it. The person everyone depends on also deserves someone to depend on. Quote, never forget that.